we are going to be doing a book haul. So this one was a new release last year, a narrator who was one of the characters in the story and they're kind of telling the story. I know it's one that makes a lot of people cry, and I also just love this cover. I think it's so nice. These are just like quite like fluffy, easy romance books to read. Again, I know that this has been a really popular book talk book. It reminds me a lot of Hunger Games. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new here. So as you guys can see by the title of this video, we are going to be doing a book haul. Very exciting. Some of these books here were Christmas presents and some of them I have purchased. I started off this year not obeying my reading goal. One of my goals for this year is to read 4 books before buying a new book, and when I buy a book I'm only allowed to buy 1. I have a big goal to cut down the amount of unread books that I own on my bookshelf, but I also still really enjoy buying books as well and adding books to my library. So I feel like this is quite a good in-between where I can practice discipline and self-control, which is my word of the year, but also still enjoy buying books. I do try and thrift and buy secondhand as many of my books as possible. So without further ado, let's jump into this video. So I think I'm going to go through all of the books that I've purchased first, and then I'll save the ones that I received as a gift for last. So we will start off with fantasy books. So I have picked up 2. I picked up Reckless by Lauren Roberts. This book is the second book in the Powerless trilogy. So this one was a new release last year and I just didn't quite get around to reading it. If you don't know anything about Powerless, in Powerless you have elites and ordinaries. Elites have powers, ordinaries don't. Our main girl, Peyton, is an ordinary, but she is posing as a psychic, so she's posing as an elite because ordinaries are kind of like despised in society. People try and kill them because they think that it's like a disease. Our main guy Kai is an elite, so he has powers. He is the king's son. Peyton and Kai have a run-in, and then there's a set of trials in this book to kind of like win the respect of the people of this land, and Peyton gets thrown into this trials with a bunch of elites, and normally it's just elites who compete because obviously all the elites have powers, and Peyton basically is just trying to survive. That's kind of where you go in Powerless. You also have the little novella Powerful, which is told from Peyton's best friend, which I really enjoyed as well. And then you've got this book, and then we are getting Fearless come out in April. I really wanted to read this book. It's on my 24 books to read. Wow, I almost said 24 books to read in 2024. My 25 books to read in 2025, so I really hope that I can get to it. This one was actually one that I bought from Kmart. The last fantasy book that I have picked up, I actually just picked up, I think earlier this week, and that is this one here. This one is One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. This is the first book in the Shadow King duology, I think is what it's called. I have been wanting to buy this on Marketplace for like ages, but it just always sells so incredibly fast. I don't know much about this. All I know is that there is a magic system to do with playing cards, and that sounds fascinating. I know that this is a well-loved book talk book, so I am hoping that I really enjoy it. Next up we will do a cozy fantasy. So this is the only book in this whole entire haul that I have read, and that is this one here. This one is Tress of the Emerald Sea by Sanderson. So I actually started this last year as a library book, but we were going away in the week that my library book was due back and I hadn't finished the book. So I ended up just buying a copy of it so that I could return the library book but also keep reading the book because I really enjoyed it. So this one is part of the Cosmere, but you don't have to know anything of the Cosmere to read this because this is just a little standalone, which is also really nice because you don't get many like fantasy books that are standalone. In saying that, it is a cozy fantasy, so it's very light-hearted, easy to read. This one here, you are just following Tress. Tress's lover gets taken, and so she just goes on a quest to try and find him. It's not a romance because the romance part of it is like a subplot, but you just kind of go along with Tress as she ends up on a pirate ship and she discovers so much about herself. She also has a little cup collection, which is really cute, a lovely little personality trait. There is also a talking animal in this, and this is written, I would say, in like second person, so you have like a narrator who is one of the characters in the story and they're kind of telling the story. It's really cool. It feels like a fairy tale that you're reading. Again, if you want to hear more of my thoughts on this, you can go and watch my end of year reading wrap up video that I uploaded where I talk about this a bit more in depth. Next up we have a general fiction, and this book here I have seen a lot about on BookTok. I know it's one that makes a lot of people cry, so I'm intrigued to see if it makes me cry, because I do not cry very easily in books. There's only one trope that I know of in books that will make me cry every time, but that is this one here. This one is A Little Life by Hanya or Hanya Yanagihara. I'm sorry, that's probably not right, but I think that this follows a friend group over like a period of like 20 years or something. Just says 4 graduates moved to New York, broke, adrift and buoyed only by their friendship and ambition. Then it goes through all the characters over many decades. Oh wow, so it goes longer. Their complex relationships come to be defined by their respective addictions, successes and traumas in this immensely powerful novel of love and the limits of human endurance. So this book I know is quite heavy, so definitely if you are wanting to go into it, check the trigger warnings. And then last for the books that I've purchased are all romance books. I purchased Daydream by Hannah Grace. This is the 3rd book in the Maple Hills series. So Maple Hills is like the university I think that they're a part of, but you just have really good found family in the series. Each book is an interconnected standalone. So the first book is Icebreaker, second book is Wildfire, Daydream is the 3rd book. I don't know if we're getting another one this year. I kind of hope that we do. But this one is Henry's book, and Henry, he's part of the ice hockey team. And Henry was one of my favorite characters in the Maple Hills series from the start. You kind of got like crumbs of who he is as a person. Oh cute, here's a little t-shirt that says Henry. I just realized. That's so cute. You have Henry and Hallie. So Hallie we haven't met before, so I'm really intrigued to see what their story says, but I think it's a friends to lovers, because Hallie is tutoring Henry because Henry needs to keep his grades up to stay on the ice hockey team, and Hallie is like a big bookworm. She's got a book club, she listens to Taylor Swift, she crochets, things like that. So I think I'll really enjoy this. This one apparently also has the most emotional depth, which is really exciting because I really like that in books. And I also just love this cover. I think it's so nice. This was also a new release last year and I just didn't get to it, so I am really excited to get to it this year. It's also on my 25 books to read in 2025. Then we also have another book in a series. So we have this one here. This one is The Pumpkin Spice Cafe by Laurie Gilmore. So this one was on my Christmas list, but I actually just ended up buying it after Christmas. If you guys missed Vlogmas that I did last year, I read The Christmas Tree Farm by Laurie Gilmore and I really enjoyed it. So that's technically the 3rd book in the Dream Harbor series. So like Dream Harbor is like the little small town that they live in, but again interconnected standalones, so you don't have to read them in order. I really wanted to read the previous 2 books to kind of get the background. From book 3, that is the brother of the girl who owns this cafe. So I really enjoyed like getting like crumbs of their like family dynamic and things like that. So I'm excited to read from his sister's point of view and to watch her fall in love with the guy that she is now with in the 3rd book. Again, I absolutely love these covers. These are just like quite like fluffy, easy romance books to read. I also just really like how in the start of these books they have a little map of the town, because I find that really helpful, because usually it's just fantasy books that have got maps, but I definitely think small town romance books need to have the maps because it just helps me to visualize where everything is and things like that. So yeah, I'm really excited to go into this. There's this one, and then I've got the 2nd book down here which I'll show you guys in a second, and then we are getting book 4 come out I think April. We're getting book 5 I think in September, which is another Christmassy one. So yeah, I really want to be caught up in this series by the end of the year. And then the last romance book that I have purchased for myself is this one here. This one is Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. Again, I know that this has been a really popular BookTok book, same with this one, but we have recently got access to this here in New Zealand. I actually ordered this online at Book Hero because the bookstores were completely out of stock of it. If you are in New Zealand and you're struggling to find a book, look on Book Hero. If you're local to Auckland, you can go and pick it up from their warehouse, but if not, they do also ship around New Zealand. This book also has the glossy cover. This is also the first book in a series. You do have book 2, which is Out of the Woods, and I think that has just come out. But this one here, it's just a romance book. This one does have an accidental pregnancy trope in it, but apparently it's done really, really well, and obviously it has disability representation as well. So I'm really intrigued. I know a lot of people really, really love this romance book, and I recently heard Rachel Catherine absolutely rave about this, so I really wanted to get my hands on it as well. Alright, so those are all for the books that I've purchased, and then quickly we will just go through the books that were gifts. Like I mentioned, I did receive book 2 in the Dream Harbour series for Christmas from my lovely husband. He did try and find book 1, but apparently they were like out of stock everywhere, so he got book 2. So this one is The Cinnamon Bun Bookstore by Laurie Gilmore. It just says on the front, all it takes is a little bit of sugar and spice. And the series does have like a little bit of spice in it, but book 3 had like my ideal amount of spice. Like I think it had 2 spice scenes, and that was it. The rest had like very good like friends to lovers development, a really good like romance development after the spice scenes as well, which I really appreciated. But also love this cover. It's another one of my favorites that I own. Really intrigued to see what I think of this. I feel like this one was talked about a little bit in book 3, but not heaps. It definitely talked more about the Pumpkin Spice Cafe than the bookstore in book 3. The next few books I have heard absolutely nothing about, so I'm intrigued to see what I think. These 3 were actually gifts from my sister for Christmas. So this one is How to Find Love in a Bookshop by Veronica Henry. It's a top 10 bestseller. It seems like this owner is struggling to keep the bookshop afloat. There's a guy in here as well. It's like a romance book, so I'm just intrigued to see what I think of this. She also gave me this one here. This one is Better Luck Next Time by Kate Hilton. It says, it's not easy having a mother who's a feminist icon. Just ask the daughters of Lydia Hennessy, who could have it all if only they'd stop self-destructing. A brilliant laugh out loud family comedy. This is a general fiction book, I believe. Last book I'm really, really excited for. Again, I've heard nothing about this, but the back just was really intriguing. Again, a Christmas present from my sister. And that is The Last One by Alexandra Olivia. It just says, Welcome to the Woods. This one, I think, is a YA thriller. It reminds me a lot of Hunger Games. I'll read the back. It says, she wanted an adventure she never imagined it would go this far. 12 contestants, very reminiscent of the Hunger Games. When Zoo agrees to take part in a new reality TV show in the dark, kind of like the Hunger Games, she knows that she will be tested to the limits of her endurance. Beating 11 competitors in a series of survival tasks deep in the forest, Hunger Games 1, will be the ultimate challenge before she returns home to start a family. A game with no end. As the contestants are overcome by hunger, injury, and psychological breakdown, the mind games to which Zoo is subjected grow dark beyond belief. This isn't what she signed up for. The deserted towns and gruesome props. Is this a game with no end? Alone and disorientated, Zoo must summon all her survival skills and learn new ones as she goes. Honestly, sounds great. I loved the Hunger Games. I read that when I was 14. So if anything can give me a very similar vibe, I am keen. And then the last book that I received as a Christmas present, and the last book for this haul, is this one here. This one is just The Last Battle by C.S. Lewis. So this is the last book in the Chronicles of Narnia series. I have never actually read the entire Chronicles. I read book 2 like twice when I was younger. So that's like The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe. C.S. Lewis is also a Christian, so he writes like Christian non-fiction and Christian fiction. So this is like a little fiction series, and I'd been like collecting the little like small books with kind of like these covers. I'm now just missing book 6, I think, and then I think we've got all of them. I am hoping that I can read a few more books in this series this year. So there we go, guys. Those are all of the books that I have either purchased new recently or ones that have been gifted from family members and things. If you guys enjoyed seeing this little book haul, make sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Please make sure to turn on the notifications and check out my social media. It's always linked down below in the description box. If you guys want to watch more book hauls or more book related videos, I will leave my playlist called Reading down below. There's quite a lot in there as well. I really enjoy reading. I always have. Let me know down below if you guys have read any of these books. Obviously no spoilers, or if there are any books you think I would enjoy, let me know as well. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.